Hello, my wonderful friends. Happy New Year if you celebrate it, and welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Tarzana, and today we are going to be discussing all of the books that I read in the month of December in 2024. So I had a really good month overall, I feel like, and I'm so happy with the books that I read last month, so let's get into it. So last month I finally dove into Caraval. This is the first book in, I guess, the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber, and this was like another version of Phantasma, if you will, and I had a really good time reading this. So our FMC is Scarlet, and she basically goes into Caraval to locate her sister, who is trying to get away from their father. Their father is pretty abusive and very rough around the edges. So they both want to go to Caraval. It was been their dream since they were like little girls. And Scarlet has been writing letters to Legend. He is the owner or the person who like runs Caraval, and no one knows what he looks like because he always has somebody playing a certain part. Not a lot of things are real when you're in Caraval, and they go through like all these trials and stuff, and it's just like so interesting. And even by the end of this book, I was questioning who the MMC is because it was just like such an up and down upheaval, even though Scarlet was feeling certain things for Julian, who I think is our MMC. I don't really know at this point, but they were having some sparks and they had a connection. They like partnered up so they could like win the game. I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. I did give it a 3.5 stars because the ending was pretty predictable. It's something that I've already seen in Phantasma, I guess, even though Phantasma is newer. So I don't know, like the plot is basically the same. So I don't know, it wasn't anything new to me. So, and I wanted to have something that like made me feel like, wow, you know, but it was like, oh, pretty cool, you know, like it was like, it just was that vibe. But I am really interested in going into the next two books in the series and then read the Once Upon a Heart series. I'm really excited to read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series because I want to learn about Jack and Evangeline, and I'm like waiting to see if I see them in this series yet. But yeah, it was a pretty good read. I'm happy I picked it up and I can't wait to pick the other two up. I also picked up Dawn Shard. This is like a little novella for Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive series. I believe this is 3.5. So after reading Oathbringer, we read this and then we go into Rhythm of War. We got a little bit of backstory about Navani and this woman named Ryson. She's like a ship owner. So like the plot of this book is mainly on a ship, and she has this friend and her name is Chiri Chiri, and I thought it was so cute, and it gave us a good amount of background on like the Radiant and stuff like that. I can't go too far into it because it's like really in deep with the Stormlight Archive series without spoiling you guys, but it gave me a lot of insight, and I'm glad I read this before I picked up Rhythm of War because this helped me prepare the way I needed to before I started Rhythm of War. So I'm glad I picked this up. I did give this a 4-star. It was great, but you know, like it's a novella, so I just gave it 4 stars. It was good, but you know, it wasn't like life altering or anything like that. And then I read Rhythm of War, gave it 5 stars. I would say that I did like Words of Radiance a little bit more than Rhythm of War. I would even say that I like Oathbringer more than Rhythm of War. However, it prepared us for Wind and Truth. I had to give this a 5-star. Like, how could I not? The world building, the writing, the character development, the plot that was like ramping up for Wind and Truth, all of it was like on point. I'm having a really hard time holding this, so I'm gonna put this down because it's heavy. But everything was absolutely phenomenal, and it got us ready for Wind and Truth. I can't give you guys anything away. Like, I can't say anything without spoiling you guys, but if you're looking to get into the Stormlight Archive series and you're worried that this is super intimidating, like fair, but the amount of living you're going to be doing while you read this series is out of this world. Like, it is absolutely out of this world. If you like reading fantasy books and you haven't picked up any of Brandon Sanderson books, pick up Mistborn and then see if you want to dive into the Stormlight Archive series. It is a chunker. What helped me get into it because especially reading like The Way of Kings, I read it totally out of order and I read The Way of Kings first. I was having a really hard time reading The Way of Kings because first few hundred pages is a lot of world building and it's super slow pacing. And I would like pick it up and I would put it down. I would pick it up and I would put it down. Like I really enjoyed it while I was reading it, but it was like mind draining in a way. But it was like so intricate, you know, like I really had to use my brain power to like focus. And what helped me is getting the audiobook and doing like immersive reading. Some people just like to pick it up and read it, and if that works for you, then that works for you. And I know you're probably like, Sarzana, you shouldn't have to do immersive reading in order to get into a book. Totally fair, but everyone has a different way of learning and a different way of reading in order for them to be totally immersed into a story. So do what you gotta do, you know? But this, I have absolutely no regrets. I really love this. I read Bookshops and Bone Dust next because I needed something in between Wind and Truth and Rhythm of War, because those are like two really hefty books with a lot of world building, and I knew Wind and Truth was going to mess me up. I wanted to pick up something light. I wanted to pick up something cozy, something no risk, and I was heavily disappointed. I really wanted to like Bookshops and Bone Dust. I loved Legends and Lattes, but this was like a prequel in Liv's life before she got to where she was in Legends and Lattes, and it was a good backstory, but at the same time I found myself just not giving a fuck about any of these characters besides for Liv. Like it was cozy and cute in a way, and like the vibes were all there, but at the same time I don't know if it was because I just read a book by Brandon Sanderson or what, but I give this 2.5 stars. Like I just couldn't get myself into it. I did finish it though, so that counts for something. I did a whole reading vlog about this next book, and if you guys want to check it out, I think it's like 1 or 2 videos prior to this one. But if you want to watch me cry and rave about this book, then by all means go check that video out. I'll wait here. This was my #1 book in 2024, and that video is also up if you guys want to see my top 10 favorite books in 2024. But I couldn't put this book down. I was literally losing sleep, and I was literally like not eating because I was sitting here just consuming this book. I was so heavily invested, like it was insane. Wind and Truth, you guessed it if you were guessing. 5 stars. The ending had my jaw on the floor. The amount of pain Brandon Sanderson put us through in this book, the way this book ended, oh my gosh, like I am so upset that we have to wait a few more years. I think we have to wait until like 2031 for book 6 in Stormlight Archives, and I'm devastated, but at the same time I am sure Brandon Sanderson needs it so he can take all the time he wants in order to get us the next book. This was absolutely amazing. This is a masterpiece. I have a lot of other Brandon Sanderson books to read, but the Stormlight Archives, like this takes the cake. I was absolutely mind blown. Love the character development, the stuff that happened with Kaladin, the stuff that happened with Dalinar. I can't even talk about it without wanting to cry. I loved this book so much, and I'm already thinking about doing a reread because I just want to be back with these characters. This was absolutely phenomenal. Perfection, a total masterpiece, Picasso. Like Brandon Sanderson did his thing in this, and I'm so happy that I was able to get a signed copy of this as well. This book is my prized possession. After reading Wind and Truth, I started to feel myself get into a slump, so I wanted to read some no-nonsense romances, and it was around Christmas time, but I finished Wind and Truth literally like a day or 2 before Christmas. So I did another reading vlog where I recorded myself reading holiday books because I needed to pick myself up. So I read My December Darling by Lauren Asher. It was like short and sweet and to the point. What she put in this book is totally outside of what she typically writes, which is like her billionaire romances. We have Luke Darling. He is a surgeon, I think, or he's an ER doctor. I can't remember right now. He's not like a millionaire, and he doesn't spend a shit ton of money to get the girl. Like he is happy sitting at home building Legos, and that is his definition of having like a perfect date night. Our FMC, her name is Catalina. She's a pediatric nurse. They're like working in the same hospital. She's like a traveling nurse. She's home for her sister sister's wedding. Luke is the best man, Kat is the maid of honor, and they all kind of have to like hang out and they're forced to see each other. Kat is like ice queen. She's also like very sensitive on the inside, and it's just so cute. Their relationship and the way he breaks down her walls, the way they connect. I just had everything that I needed from this book, and I was like, okay, great. Like, this is picking me back up. I'm getting outside of my slump. Maybe I'm going to go into like my romance era. I gave this a 5-star, by the way, but after reading this book, I read this. And from my face, if you can't tell, I did not like this book very much. It was super cringy. And it was just, I can't even tell. It is so long. For what? This is How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. I enjoyed her writing overall. I thought there was like a lot of comedic, funny parts to it, but at the same time, for what? Like, there's also character art in here that is super cute. I absolutely adored the character art in this. Where is it? Let me find you guys a page. This is a spicy scene, but like, it was really good in the bantering and stuff like that, but at the same time, like, the bantering just went way too far, and I feel like if we just reeled it in a little bit, it would have been a little bit better. Then again, this just wasn't for me, and other people may find it so funny, so perfect, and perfect Christmas read. It fell flat for me, sadly. I gave this 2 stars. And then next, I picked up The Christmas Fix by Lucy Score. This was really cute. This is like a single dad romance in a small town. And the FMC, her name is also Catalina, so she goes by Kat as well. Her and Noah is our MMC. Noah is like a nerd. He likes to stay on the line of caution. He is in charge of this town, ensuring that everything is running smoothly and stuff like that. Kat is a TV reality star, and she has her family's construction company that she works for, and they like record when they go to other people's houses or whenever they do like construction builds. Noah is so against her because he thinks that reality TV stars are just in it in order to make a few more dollars, and they record their entire life and everything is a facade. He's responsible for a 12-year-old daughter. He's a great dad, but he's also like very protective as far as making sure that his daughter is shielded from like the TV world, because he doesn't want her to have unrealistic expectations. And Kat is very outgoing. She's very enthusiastic. She's great at what she does. She loves to help people. And when Noah's town, Mary, had a flooding, Kat has family and friends there, so she wants to help out, and Noah doesn't want her to help out, but she forces her way in and starts helping out, and her crew is there. They're rebuilding the town, and the goal is basically to fix the town in order for them to be able to celebrate Christmas. And it's just such a wonderful read. The storyline is beautiful. The familial bonds, the friendships that we see built here, it's really good. Noah and his ex-wife have a great, healthy relationship, and I love that for their daughter Sarah. She's an awesome 12-year-old. There were some problems that I did have with it, which was the fact that like the 12-year-old daughter, she's like running around town, and I know that it's a small town, but like as a parent of a 12-year-old, I wouldn't let my daughter just run around town by herself. Every parent is different. Every area that we live in is different. I can't make too many judgments about that, but that didn't sit well with me as a parent. I also didn't like the fact that their relationship, Noah and Kat's relationship, was very physical, and their connection was made just from those physical interactions. They did have like other interactions, like, you know, them like talking and hanging out, but their initial connection was built off of a physical connection, and there was like no build up for it. It was literally like, I hate you and I'm making out with you. There wasn't enough yearning, and there wasn't enough like inner monologues about them finding each other attractive and stuff like that. It was just kind of like bam, and I was like, what the, you know, like I didn't really enjoy that part. But then again, every story is different, every couple is different, but for me those things just didn't sit right. I did give this a 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed Lucy Score's writing. It was very immersive. I really liked the characters. I really liked how there was like so much bantering and stuff like that. She did that very well. I did give this a 3.5 stars, and I cannot wait to pick up more books by Lucy Score. All right, and those are the 8 books that I read in the month of December in 2024. I hope you guys had some wonderful reads in December, and I wish you a happy new year again. I hope you guys get some really fun books to read or just enjoy life overall, staying happy and healthy. Thank you so much for watching my video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.